Sue right, Jake middle, me on the left.
Yeah, I knew I'd win.
Are you saying
What's
something?
really happening over there?
I think you're on mute.
There's no substitute for real gaming fun. Go where fun lives. Old Chunk Gaming Wittenberg.
When Kenosha burned, Tony Evers fanned the flames.
He blamed police.
When we needed help, he refused. For days.
I know.
Because we were there.
Evers puts politics over our lives.
Over your lives.
That's why we support Tim Michaels.
As a veteran, Tim Michaels won't abandon us.
Tim Michaels will have our back.
And stand strong against violent crime.
We're with Tim.
Straight ahead on Newswatch 12 at 6, Camp Mercer Trail has a rich history. We'll explain how a historical society is uncovering its past.
Plus, the U.S. Department of Agriculture is forgiving thousands of loans. We'll have a look at how the program is helping farmers.
And Senate hopeful Mandela Barnes made a stop in Rhinelander today. We'll hear what he had to say as your local news starts right now.
Newswatch 12 with Dan Hagan, Jessica Jukic, and Conrad Sapinski.
Good evening and welcome to Newswatch 12 at 5. I'm Dan Hagan.
And I'm Jessica Jukic. Northern Wisconsin is full of inspiring history, but some of it is in danger of being forgotten.
The Manitowish Waters Historical Society has worked hard to make sure that doesn't happen at Camp Mercer, a site of a 1930s CCC camp. Newswatch 12's Kyle Pazorski joins us now to tell us more about the new interpretive trail. Kyle?
Well, Jessica and Dan, Jim Bokern, the president of the Historical Society, has been a driving factor behind this installation. And while Camp Mercer looks almost nothing like it did a century ago, the interpretive trail brings visitors back to a pivotal moment in American history.
The site of Camp Mercer is quiet these days, but it wasn't always that way, as historian Jim Bokern has come to find out.
We're at the historic site of Camp Mercer, which was a CCC camp in northern Wisconsin.
In the 1930s, the Roosevelt administration created several government programs, including the Civilian Conservation Corps, meant to help lift the United States out of the Great Depression.
To bring relief and environmental reclamation throughout the country.
Once America joined World War II, CCC camps ceased to operate, focusing resources on the war effort. Eventually, the camp was erased from the land, but not from history.
They had a radio station here. They had larger facilities.
Bokern and the Manitowish Waters Historical Society have worked to uncover that history of the past, having now created an interpretive trail map pointing out locations of where CCC buildings used to stand.
I think it's a special experience. And to get that context relative to the story, it's a definite upgrade as far as your experience. The roof was made to blow straight up. The camp became huge as an administrative camp had to use the river.
Bokern's enthusiasm for the site is contagious, bringing perspective to a site that doesn't have much left other than basements and trails.
And I feel a strong obligation toward historic preservation and particularly preserving their story for future generations to understand.
The interpretive trail system features 22 signs taking visitors throughout the wooded area. He says now the pressure is on to preserve what's left of Camp Mercer's past through educating the public.
It's our Northwood story, and I think of those men of the greatest generation who helped this environmental reclamation, the CCC, and fought in World War II, and they're gone.
On Monday, Bokern was awarded the 2022 Board of Curators Historic Preservation Award from the Wisconsin Historical Society. He says it only motivates him and the rest of the Manitowish Waters Historical Society to keep working towards preserving our collective past.
Well, thanks, Kyle. And guys, I like winter, but I just feel like it's come too early this year.
Definitely. I did not expect to get snow before the end of October.
This isn't normal, right, Conrad?
It is definitely not, but I mean, this time of year we do get a trace and stuff like that. Do you guys realize it's also very windy outside, making that feels like temperature plummeting. Taking a look outside right now. Wind gusts are still high up there. 20-mile-per-hour wind speeds, gusting close to 30 in some locations all over Wisconsin. Take a look in the UP. Those red and orange colors right there, those are gusts up to 50 miles per hour. So it is windy outside. Not only windy, but it's also cold. 34 right now in Rhinelander, 32 in Eagle River, same thing in Land O'Lakes. Just down south, look at Green Bay, 43 degrees, 42 in Wausau. So much warmer down south, but still, that feels like temperature is cold. Makes it feel like we're in the 20s and teens in some locations. So please layer up, because it is feeling cold. We do also have some cloudy skies in the area. Most of the snow is in the UP right now, indicated right over there. For us, a couple of flurries will be lingering into the overnight hours, but tonight, though, temperatures will be falling below freezing and hovering in those upper 20s. Dan and Jessica?
Thank you, Conrad. The U.S. Department of Agriculture is offering debt relief to thousands of farmers who are struggling financially. Thursday, the agency announced more than 13,000 farming operations have received nearly $800 million. Most of the farmers have direct and guaranteed farm loans that are past due. The money comes from $3.1 billion allocated for farmers under the Inflation Reduction Act.
The DNR has announced a new interactive tool with information about PFAS throughout Wisconsin. The PFAS Interactive Data Viewer combines publicly available information from multiple sources across the DNR's website into one tool that allows users to more easily explore PFAS in Wisconsin. Available information on the website includes locations with known contamination, PFAS-related fish and game advisories, and water bodies throughout Wisconsin sampled during targeted or routine monitoring. Through this program, almost 150 municipal water systems worked with the DNR to determine if PFAS is present in their drinking water. Under new standards that went into effect in August, all drinking water systems will now be required to sample and monitor for PFAS beginning as early as next month. Data from the required sampling will be incorporated into this tool as it becomes available. The Wisconsin Department of Natural Resources is also celebrating 50 years of the Clean Water Act. In 1972, growing public awareness of the importance of water quality led to the sweeping amendments to the Federal Water Pollution Control Act. The amended law became known as the Clean Water Act and established a goal of making waters fishable and swimmable. The Clean Water Act set nationwide standards that limited how much pollution could be discharged into our waters. While the DNR celebrates what has been accomplished over the last 50 years, the agency's work is not complete. They say that there are still Wisconsin water bodies that are impaired and not meeting their designated uses, and they will continue to protect Wisconsin's water.
During 2020, Wisconsin's state and local tax burden fell to its lowest level in at least a generation. The Wisconsin Policy Forum says over the past 20 years, no other state has seen a greater drop in its tax burden than Wisconsin. The nonprofit says the drop was reflecting the downturn from the pandemic, policy decisions, and partly reflects economic growth. The tax burden drop also contributed to decreased spending on K through 12th education. Despite the drop in its tax burden, the state and local tax collection rose 1.7% in 2020. Property taxes rose 3.1%. Meanwhile, income taxes dropped in 2020, with the state collecting more than $8.5 billion. The nonprofit says the pandemic and federal relief aid, along with surging tax collection last year, may impact the trend in the next few years.
Gubernatorial candidate Tim Michels suggested today he does not support enforcing the state's near-total ban on abortions, though his team later walked back those statements. Today, during a Q&A session at the Rotary Club of Milwaukee, Michels said, quote, "I will never arrest a daughter as they're saying. I'm a reasonable guy," end quote. Under Wisconsin's 1849 abortion ban, doctors who perform abortions can be found guilty of a Class H felony. That is punishable by up to 6 years in prison, a fine of up to $10,000, or both. Last month, Michels changed his stance on the abortion ban, saying he would sign a bill for exceptions in cases of rape or incest.
A few Good Samaritans made an impact today by helping rescue 2 boaters. The Portage County Communications Center received a call today about a capsized boat in the Wisconsin River near the Buchholz Park in Stevens Point. It was reported that 2 men were clinging to the top of their overturned boat. When a Portage County Sheriff's deputy arrived on the scene, she saw 3 hunters who were about to launch their boat and asked them to help because it was a life-threatening emergency. 2 Stevens Point Fire Department paramedics arrived on the scene and went with the Good Samaritans to attempt to rescue the stranded men. They were able to get the 2 men into the boat and return them to shore safely. The 2 rescue men were not injured. There's only one Republican senator up for re-election in the state that Joe Biden won, and that's Ron Johnson of Wisconsin.
His opponent, Mandela Barnes, is hoping this state will stay blue in 22. Earlier today, Barnes made a stop in Rhinelander. Barnes talked to supporters at the Friendship House restaurant. He said everywhere he goes in the state, he hears from voters who are upset at Senator Johnson.
Ron Johnson's left people behind all over, whether it's in Milwaukee or whether it's up in Rhinelander or even in La Crosse or Green Bay. And we're showing up everywhere, reminding people that better is possible, that we don't have to deal with, we don't have to settle for Ron Johnson's failed leadership and failed representation.
Many of the attack ads aimed at Barnes concern crime. The lieutenant governor touts his record fighting crime. This year, he and the governor used $50 million in the American Rescue Plan to support police. Barnes said Johnson is just playing politics.
And for Ron Johnson to stand idly by for 12 years and point fingers, the least he could do is lift one of those fingers and help out communities who are calling on him to do the right thing to make communities safe.
Barnes said he would work to prevent crime in the Senate by fully funding schools, bringing back good-paying jobs, and going after illegal guns. Monaco Country Club is constructing a new pro shop.
Coming up after the break, we'll tell you when they plan to tee off. That's after weather with Conrad right here on Newswatch 12.
When I started working at Michaels Corporation, Tim was 9 years old.
Tim worked in the trenches for many years when he first started out in this company.
51 years.
12 years. 20 years.
50 years.
Took a small Wisconsin company to one of the best in America.
Tim is really hardworking.
Very good leader.
And he's going to tell you like it is.
Because of Tim Michaels, there are thousands of good-paying jobs in Wisconsin.
Jobs that people are proud of.
I wouldn't hesitate for 1 second to jump in a foxhole with Tim.
Chevy Silverado. It's got the power you want and the capability you need to do the job so you can get to the important work. Find new moments, find new roads. Get a $500 cash allowance on all 2022 Silverado pickups with a 2.7-liter turbo engine when you purchase. Plus, current Chevy owners can get an additional $2,500 loyalty cash. And now during truck season, get a $1,000 accessory allowance toward a new Chevy truck with accessories.
They say the real measure of a leader is in how he treats his people. But at Tim Michaels' company?
These allegations span over 2 decades.
Women say they were groped.
The male superior groped the crotch and inner thigh of a female employee.
Assaulted and pressured to have sex with their bosses.
If she refused demands for sex, she would be blackballed.
And when co-workers spoke up, they say they were fired. So if that's the kind of leader Tim Michaels is, how do you think he'd lead the state?
Northwoods Firearms in Crandon. We sell anything freedom. Firearms, ammunition, parts, and accessories. We buy, sell, and trade all types of firearms. We specialize in custom-built rifles and fully equipped setup hunting rifles. Silencer shop power dealer with kiosk. Factory trained and certified Cerakote applicator. We handle all types of firearms transfers as well as NFA weapon deals. Our focus is on you and delivering one-of-a-kind products. Embrace your freedom at Northwoods Firearms in Crandon.
It's cold outside for this time of year, so get those fire pits ready because it is cold. That's going to be sticking around with us once again into tonight. Right now, temperatures in Rhinelander around 34 degrees with a north-northwest wind at 12 miles per hour. A little bit warmer in Wausau, 42 degrees. A lot less clouds down there, so it is looking a little bit better down in Wausau. But take a look outside right now. Cloudy skies are still lingering, and look at this blue right here in the UP. That's some really heavy lake effect snow as those northeast winds are blowing in all of that precipitation. So if you are close to Marquette, really keep an eye on that as this low right over here continues to stick around in and around our area, really bringing in those strong winds from the northeast, and that is what's producing all of that heavy lake effect snow. For us, though, we are in the clear. A couple of flurries might still be lingering, but overall, just some cloud cover before all of this starts to move out. And we will be in the clear for the rest of the week until Sunday evening into Monday when another low pressure system starts to come in, but that's by Monday. So the rest of this week will be dry and it will be warm. Wind speeds outside, though, are on the windy side. Some locations close to 40-mile-an-hour wind gusts, and places right here in the UP, same thing by Green Bay. Some locations have 50-mile-an-hour wind speeds. Tomorrow, though, won't look too bad. Wind speeds will actually start to calm down a lot, so expect a lot lighter winds all across the state tomorrow. Temperatures today, though, well below average. Look at all these temperatures. 30s, 32 in Eagle River, same thing in Land O'Lakes. Rhinelander coming in at 34 degrees, and then some 40s by Wausau and south of that. Same in Stevens Point, 45 degrees there. So our average high this time of year, 54 degrees, with an average low of around 33 degrees. So we are nowhere near that because of this trough right here, bringing in all that cold air. But look at the East Coast. They have some warmer temperatures, some 50s and 60s. But take a look to the west. All of this air right here, look how high those temperatures go, all the way up into Canada. Don't worry, we'll be in on that as well as it continues to push our way. So by Friday, Saturday, and right in time for Sunday, temperatures will be warming up. So don't put away those short sleeves just yet, because warmer weather is on the way. Not tonight, though, as temperatures hover in those upper 20s, mostly cloudy skies. A couple of flurries will be possible. And our 7-day outlook, brought to you by Northwoods Furniture and Mattress, does show a really dry weather pattern in the forecast the rest of this week, and warmer weather. Look at the weekend. 60s will be back. Dan and Jessica?
Thanks, Conrad. A new study finds that many U.S. adults with diabetes ration insulin to save money. Researchers analyzed findings based on data from the 2021 National Health Interview Survey conducted by the CDC. The survey interviews tens of thousands of Americans about their health-related experiences, and they found that nearly 1 in 5 diabetic Americans either skipped, delayed, or used less insulin than they needed in order to save on costs. Young adults and those who are uninsured were more likely to ration their medication. Those with public health coverage, such as Medicaid or Medicare, had the best chance of using all the insulin they need.
With chilly fall temperatures today, golf probably wasn't on the mind for most of the people in the Northwoods.
But not true for everyone. Members of the Minocqua Country Club can look forward to a new golf shop coming soon. Newswatch 12's Matt Weaver joins us live in the studio with more. Matt?
Dan, golfers at the club this weekend may notice a little difference if they're out for one last round this upcoming weekend. With the club, their idea became quickly in action. The previous facility in place was demolished shortly after Labor Day. It stood there since it was put together in the early 2000s. And when asked about the project, head golf professional Dave Chemnitz said it was time for an upgrade.
With the old facility, we were starting to outgrow a number of the things, the locker room and bag storage. So this gives us more space. It should make us more efficient in our operation and to better service the members.
The new facility will also include a lower level for parking of new eco-friendly carts indoors. It will provide a quiet experience on the golf course.
Without a facility to house the carts, we've utilized gas carts for the history of the club, so we're excited to be able to convert to electric carts.
With the foundation laid, the crews will focus on getting the structure outlined this week. The club has now set the April 2023 as their expected opening for the one-stop shop. That's in time for an exciting event in the following summer. Tune in to our 6 p.m. newscast for more on that. Dan?
Thanks, Matt. Aaron Rodgers told the press after Sunday's loss that the team needs to simplify. Some people read that as a criticism of the game plan, but Rodgers said today that's not what he meant. Rodgers appeared on the Pat McAfee show today and praised the coaching staff for all the work they've done this season. He said the simplify message was not about the offensive game plan, but a change in mindset for the team.
It was really an alert for our players. Like, we need to lock in a little bit more
and simplify things in our own mind. You know, even the most complex plays can be simplified in our mind to the simple things we have to do on that play.
Rodgers went on to say that Sunday's game was full of mental errors by the team and that he wants the team to focus on the fundamentals of football.
We got to use in these plays, and we just got to be better at the details. I think that's the real thing I was trying to stress is the details have not been good enough. We've had multiple plays where 10 guys are doing something right and one guy isn't.
Rodgers went on to say that the accountability for Sunday's loss falls on the players. And here's some news for next Sunday's game in D.C. The Commanders' starting quarterback is out, so backup Taylor Heineke will play instead. It's not every day that the Northwoods has visitors from Denmark.
Coming up on Newscast 12, we learn about a new person's connection to the Mole Lake Ojibwe Band.
Tim Michaels wants to scare you with lies. Here's the truth. Independent fact checkers gave Michaels' parole attacks a pants-on-fire rating, saying they were false and that the governor does not allow any release of criminals. That's a fact. And here's another fact. Tony Evers actually increased police funding, and he's working to invest in high-crime areas, in job training, after-school programs, and mental health. So when you see all these, do this.
Get organized and save big money with help from Menards. ClosetMate has high-quality, multi-function home organization solutions that keep your home neat and tidy. ClosetMate closet kits can be cut to fit any space and are great for hanging clothes and storing accessories. Organize your life and pick up an adjustable shelf track wire closet kit. Save 11% on all ClosetMate closet kits and accessories now at Menards.
Save big money at Menards.
Breaking news in Dallas, Texas, where at least 5 police officers were killed when they were ambushed.
This was the deadliest day for U.S. law enforcement since 9/11.
Just days after this horrific crime, Mandela Barnes appeared on Vladimir Putin's propaganda news outlet and rationalized violence against American police officers.
Police officers are over-exercising their badges. This probably was a retaliatory attack.
Do you want Mandela Barnes representing you in the Senate?
I'm Ron Johnson, and I approve this message.
Everybody run for cover! Go!
This is not her fault. They're prosecuting her for murder. She did everything to save a life. It was open season on nurses.
I can't go to jail.
If we don't act now, she's gonna die.
Northern Wisconsin is home to many Ojibwe people, and while their history alone is fascinating, at least one European explorer's life is intertwined with a native band.
More than 250 years ago, a man from Denmark spent some time in Mole Lake. Today, his descendant visited the same log cabin where he stayed. Newswatch 12's Mohammed Abdul Kawi joins us to tell us more. Mohammed?
Today, I went to the historic log cabin in Mole Lake. While it may not look like much, back in the 19th century, a Danish explorer made it his home. I spoke to his descendant and other Danes to see why they made the trip to northern Wisconsin.
This place is very special to me.
There's more to this log cabin in Mole Lake than meets the eye. A group of people all the way from Denmark arrived in America recently to see it themselves.
And there was a Danish guy called Wilhelm Dinesen, who has lived in this cabin. And I'm like, that is Isaac Dinesen's father. And she's a very well-known author who wrote Out of Africa.
One of the travelers is a descendant of Wilhelm. Wilhelm lived in here during the late 1800s.
It makes unique, especially to me, because it's my family. And that there are these ties to America makes it very special for me to be here.
Another Dane like Malene says the experience gives her a better perspective on Wilhelm's life.
The things that Wilhelm Dinesen wrote about staying here, I can imagine that. I mean, and partly because the house is furnished with old furniture.
The group of travelers hope they can use their new knowledge to educate people back home in Denmark.
We're having the time of our life. It's so interesting to be here and see it in real life, not just on pictures. That's great.
They told me areas like these are important to preserve. The main goal of their visit is to create a film about the log cabin in the future. We'll be right back after the break.
Food for Kids needs volunteers for October 22nd. To help, go online or call today.
Over 800 convicted criminals released. 270 murderers and attempted murderers released. 44 child rapists released. Tony Evers' parole commission has released hundreds of violent criminals early, including some of the worst killers in Wisconsin history. Evers' liberal policies are making our communities less safe. Tony Evers put criminals first and our family's safety last.
I've only got one good lung. I've got damage in sides, and I still took it without question. And I encourage people to think of your 7 generations, to think of your grandkids, to think of your kids instead of yourself. That's what I like for people to think of. I've only got one good lung. I've got damage in sides, and I still took it without question. And I encourage people to think of your 7 generations, to think of your grandkids, to think of your kids instead of yourself. That's what I like for people to think of.
You heard the jingle man, Wisconsin. That means it's time to get a versatile, rugged, athletic SUV that makes you feel like you just won a title. Again. Honda was just crowned KBB.com's best value brand for the 7th year in a row. So get up and go to your Wisconsin Heartland Honda dealer today. Honda gets Wisconsin. Bring it home, Songbird.
I'm Mandela Barnes, and I approve this message.
Ron Johnson caught lying. Independent fact checks call his attacks on Mandela Barnes false and misleading. But it's Johnson's views that are alarming. Johnson supported a ban on abortions. He co-sponsored a bill that makes no exceptions for rape, incest, or the life of the woman. And Johnson said if women don't like it, they can move. The truth is, it's Ron Johnson who doesn't belong in Wisconsin.
So I went on a bike ride this morning, guys, and I forgot how not fun it is to be biking while it's cold, or do anything outside when it's cold. But luckily, that's going to change this weekend, right?
Yes, big changes are on the way, guys. Don't put away your short sleeve shirts just yet. But now taking a look outside, it is 30. There's 30s outside right now. That is cold for this time of year. It's only middle of October, so bundle up because it's cold. But that feels like temperature even colder. Check out Eagle River. Feels like 21 there, 25 in Rhinelander, so please layer up. Cloudy skies in the area. Some of that lake effect snow is lingering in the UP for the most part. So in Wisconsin, we are in the clear, but our 7-day outlook does show a warm-up on the way. Look at Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and even into beginning of next week. 60s are back.
Looking like a beautiful weekend. Can't wait. That's all the time we have. We'll see you back